Imagine discovering an AI chatbot designed to mimic your deceased daughter, a digital ghost resurrected without your permission. This isn't science fiction, it's the unsettling reality of platforms like Character.AI. This episode of Be More Right Now explores the chilling implications of AI chatbots created in the image of real people, often without consent. We'll talk about a family grappling with the digital reincarnation of a loved one, tech experts warning of the potential for harassment and misinformation, and legal scholars struggling to keep pace with this rapidly evolving technology. Tune in as we expose the ethical abyss of AI companionship and ask, in the age of artificial intelligence, can the dead truly rest in peace?
Ever think about what happens to all your stuff online after you're gone?
Yeah.
You know? It's a lot to think about, right? We leave behind this huge digital footprint, like all our posts and comments and photos. What if someone took all that and
what if they tried to recreate you?
Exactly, as an AI chatbot? Kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty unsettling when you think about it.
So that's what we're going to be looking at today, these AI bots that are basically mimicking real people.
Even after they've passed away.
And it's already happening, like right now.
Yeah, platforms like Character.AI, that's where it's all going down.
Yeah.
Anyone can build a digital version of someone.
Seriously, anyone.
Yeah, all you need is some public info, it's not that hard to find, and boom, instant digital ghost.
And the ethics of that, yikes.
Yeah, not great. A lot of red flags.
So let's break down this Character.AI thing for those who aren't familiar. It's a website where you can basically create and talk to these AI bots. People are making them for fictional characters, celebrities, pretty much anyone you can imagine.
Right, but it's the real people that are causing the most problems.
Especially when it's, people who are no longer with us.
And the families have no idea, no consent, nothing.
This just feels wrong on so many levels. Imagine grieving for someone, and suddenly there's this digital version of them popping up online, saying things they might never have actually said.
Exactly. That's messing with their digital legacy, their image. Even after death, shouldn't you have some say in how you're represented?
Absolutely. It's about basic respect. But then these platforms, they just hide behind their terms of service and these disclaimers that are super vague.
Right. Makes it almost impossible for families to get those bots taken down.
It's like a free-for-all out there, the Wild West of AI, and there's no sheriff in sight.
And it goes beyond just upsetting families, it's dangerous too.
Yeah, these bots could easily be used to spread misinformation or manipulate people.
Think about someone who is grieving, they might be vulnerable. They turn to this bot thinking it's their loved one, and it feeds them lies.
That's terrifying to think about.
It's not just a theory, it's happening.
The Wired article actually focuses on this really sad story about a woman, Jennifer Ann Crescente, who passed away back in 2006.
Oh, wow.
And so imagine her father's just total shock when he finds this AI chatbot on Character.AI, and it's supposed to be Jennifer.
Oh my God.
Talk about a gut punch.
Yeah, that would be awful. It really makes you think about grief and memory so differently in this digital age, We're talking about the possibility of almost bringing someone back digitally but without their consent. What does that even mean for their loved ones who are grieving? How do we even start to think about the ethics of that? It's very strange territory. Her uncle, Brian Crescente, he's a pretty well-known gaming journalist. He's the one who brought all this to light.
He must have been devastated.
Yeah, he made a strong argument that these platforms, Character.AI and the like, they have to do something to prevent this kind of exploitation. They have a responsibility.
Totally agree. But legally, what can you even do in a situation like that?
That's where it gets tricky. The law isn't really equipped to handle this yet. These platforms, they claim they're protected by the laws for, user-generated content.
So they're basically washing their hands of it.
Pretty much. Hey, it's not our fault someone built a digital Frankenstein on our site.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and for families who don't have the resources or the platform that someone like Brian Crescente has, it's almost impossible to fight back. These companies make it so hard to even get these bots removed.
It's just another example of how AI is developing so fast that the ethics and the laws can't keep up.
Exactly. We're handing out these incredibly powerful tools with no safety guidelines, no real thought about the consequences.
The recipe for disaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the future holds.
Exactly. What kind of digital world are we creating?
We're sleepwalking into this digital nightmare. Anyone can be brought back as a chatbot, and they have no say in it. Their words can be twisted, used for who knows what.
And the tech behind it all is pretty mind-blowing. These AI models, They're trained on so much data.
Yeah, massive amounts. Text, code, they basically scrape the entire internet for everything they can get.
So they're like digital vultures, feeding on our online lives. But how do they actually make a chatbot that's convincing? Can they really capture like a real person's personality?
That's what's so scary. They can be incredibly convincing. They look for patterns, mimic styles, and they can spit out text that sounds just like the person they're imitating.
But it's all fake, right?
Exactly. They're just parrots. Fancy parrots, but still parrots. Repeating things without understanding what they mean.
Digital zombies. They look like the person, but there's nothing real underneath.
But what about the legal side of this? Isn't there something to protect people from having their digital identity stolen like that?
Well, there's this thing called rights of personality, which is supposed to protect your name, image, from being used commercially without your permission.
Right, like celebrities suing companies for using their pictures. But what about regular people? Does that apply to them too?
That's the gray area. The law is so slow, it's way behind all this new tech. And with AI, it's even more blurry. Is a chatbot really using your likeness the same way a photo does? And proving that it's caused harm? That's a whole other battle.
So basically, the platforms have all the power.
Pretty much. And we've talked about the harm to families, but it can also damage someone's reputation or spread really harmful stuff.
Like hate speech and conspiracy theories. And there have been real cases of this happening. This woman, Alyssa Mercante, she's a gaming editor. Well, she found out that someone had created a chatbot of her, and it was spreading lies about her, even harassing people online.
That's awful.
It's a perfect example of how these bots can be used as weapons, taking something bad that's already happening and making it even worse.
It's like all the worst parts of the internet are getting amplified, hate, misinformation, everything. It's scary to think about the long-term impact on society as a whole. If anyone can be brought back like this and manipulated, how can we trust anything anymore?
Yeah, it's like we're entering this uncharted territory, and the implications are huge. Imagine historical figures being resurrected as chatbots, rewriting history, pushing agendas, or political discourse being dominated by AI-generated personas.
It's like a recipe for chaos, and it all feels so out of control. What can we even do about it? Is there any way to stop this digital free-for-all?
There isn't one simple answer. But we can't just pretend it's not happening. We need stronger laws, legal frameworks that actually address AI. And more than anything, we need to be talking about this. What are the limits of free speech when it comes to digital impersonation? Do people have a right to control their digital legacy? And who's responsible when these AI creations cause harm?
Big questions. We can't afford to ignore them. It's like we're at this fork in the road, right? We've got this amazing technology, AI, that can talk like us, even think like us in some ways, but then is being used to exploit people, even after they're gone. It's just not right. So where do we even go from here? Can we, fix this, or are we heading for a digital apocalypse?
Tough question. And there's no easy answer. We can't stuff the genie back in the bottle. The tech is out there, but we can't just let it run wild. We got to start by admitting there's a problem.
Yeah, pretending it's not happening won't make it go away. So let's talk solutions. How do we stop this digital graveyard robbing?
Well, laws are a good place to start. The ones we have now about rights of personality, they're too vague. They don't really work for AI.
Yeah, AI is a whole other beast.
Exactly. We need laws that deal specifically with digital identity and how AI can be used to recreate people, especially without their consent.
I can see how that would be a headache for lawmakers, defining what a digital identity even is. But laws might not be enough, right? Tech moves so fast, laws are always playing catch-up.
Exactly. We need a lot of things to change. Laws are part of it, but we also got to put pressure on those platforms, the ones hosting these bots.
Make them take some responsibility.
Yeah, they need better rules, stricter moderation, and they got to be faster about taking down these bots when they cause harm.
So it's about holding these big tech companies accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the AI developers themselves, the ones actually building this tech? Shouldn't they be thinking about this stuff too?
Absolutely. We got to change the whole culture of AI development. It's not just about making cool new tech. It's about thinking about how it will be used. What kind of world are we building?
It's like we need a wake-up call, a digital one. We got to look past the hype and really ask ourselves, what are we doing here? But that's a huge shift in thinking. How do we even begin to do that?
It is huge, yeah, but not impossible. It starts with conversations like this, making people aware, getting them to think about the ethics of AI. And then we got to engage with the lawmakers, pressure the tech companies, educate the public. It's a team effort. We all got to be paying attention.
This has been, a pretty intense deep dive. These AI chatbots, especially the ones mimicking people who have passed away, They're opening up a Pandora's box of ethical and legal questions. And while the answers aren't simple, we definitely can't just ignore it. We need to fight for stronger legal protections, for better rules about how AI can use our data. And most importantly, we need to have a serious conversation about the future of AI development. What are we creating?
Yeah, the big question is, what kind of digital world do we want? One where people can be exploited even after they're gone, or one where technology is used ethically and responsibly? That choice is up to us.
That's a powerful thought. And on that note, we'll leave you with this. In a world where digital immortality might actually be possible, what does it really mean to live and die in the digital age? And how can we make sure that our digital legacy and the legacy of those we love is treated with respect, even after we're gone? Thanks for joining us in this episode of Be More Right Now.
Please subscribe if you enjoyed this production. Thanks for listening or watching.